This Second Empire Victorian-style townhouse was the final home of lifelong educator Mary McLeod Bethune. Bethune purchased the house in 1943 for $15,500 to both live in and for it to serve as the headquarters for the National Council of Negro Women, an organization she helped found. The National Council of Negro Women was formed in part by Bethune as an organization of religious and political groups, professional societies, and sororities. Their common goal was fostering cooperation among member groups to form a collective national voice for Black women in the United States. In addition to housing offices and living quarters for Bethune, the council house, as it was known, had several bedrooms dedicated to hosting out-of-town guests, and through the years, the parlor room hosted hundreds of meetings for foreign dignitaries, prominent civil rights leaders, and national organizers of the movement. Beyond helping form the National Council of Negro Women, Mary McLeod Bethune was a renowned educator, public servant, and advocate for Black women and youth. A native South Carolinian, Bethune was born to formerly enslaved parents and was one of their 17 children. As a youth, she attended out-of-state boarding schools, but returned to South Carolina to teach and later moved to Florida to continue her career. It was there Mary McLeod Bethune opened a boarding school of her own, the Daytona Beach Literary and Industrial School for training Negro girls in 1904. The school eventually grew into a college and merged with the Cookman Institute in 1929. The new institution became Bethune-Cookman University, whose campus still exists just minutes from those famous Florida beaches. During President Franklin Roosevelt's administration, Bethune was appointed as the director of the National Youth Administration Division of Negro Affairs. As the head of this New Deal agency, she was charged with directing federal resources toward education, vocational training, and paid jobs to Black youth across the United States. She was the first African American woman to direct a federal agency and was the creator of Roosevelt's Black Cabinet, an informal council of advisors to the president for all affairs related to African Americans during the New Deal era. While the National Council of Negro Women is now headquartered on Pennsylvania Avenue in downtown Washington, the Council House remains as a protected National Historic Site here in Logan Circle. It serves as a memorial to the important work done in its rooms and hallways and to this seminal figure in American history, Mary McLeod Bethune.
Last Will and Testament, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. I leave you love. Love builds. It is positive and helpful. It is more beneficial than hate. Injuries quickly forgotten quickly pass away. Personally and racially, our enemies must be forgiven. Our aim must be to create a world of fellowship and justice, where no man's skin color or religion is held against him. Love thy neighbor is a precept which could transform the world if it were universally practiced. It connotes brotherhood, and to me, brotherhood of man is the noblest concept in all human relations. Loving your neighbor means being interracial, interreligious, and international. I leave you hope. The Negro's growth will be great in the years to come. Yesterday, our ancestors endured the degradation of slavery, yet they retained their dignity. Today, we direct our economic and political strength towards winning a more abundant and secure life. Tomorrow, a new Negro, unhindered by race taboos and shackles, will benefit from more than 330 years of ceaseless striving and struggle. Theirs will be a better world. This I believe with all my heart. I leave you faith. Faith is the first factor in a life devoted to service. Without faith, nothing is possible. With it, nothing is impossible. Faith in God is the greatest power, but great too is faith in oneself. In 50 years, the faith of the American Negro in himself has grown immensely and is still increasing. The measure of our progress as a race is in precise relation to the depth of the faith in our people held by our leaders. Frederick Douglass, genius though he was spurred by a deep conviction that his people would heed his counsel and follow him to freedom. Our greatest Negro figures have been imbued with faith. Our forefathers struggled for liberty in conditions far more onerous than those we now face. But they never lost the faith. Their perseverance paid rich dividends. We must never forget their sufferings and their sacrifices, for they were the foundations of the progress of our people. Faith, courage, brotherhood, dignity, ambition, responsibility, these are needed today as never before. We must cultivate them and use them as tools for our task of completing the establishment of equality for the Negro. We must sharpen these tools in the struggle that faces us and find new ways of using them. The freedom gates are half ajar. We must pry them fully open. If I have a legacy to leave my people, it is my philosophy of living and serving. As I face tomorrow, I am content, for I think I have spent my life well. I pray now that my philosophy may be helpful to those who share my vision of a world of peace, progress, brotherhood, and love. Love.
Take my hand.
Love builds.
Lead me on.
It is positive and helpful.
Let me stand.
It is more beneficial than hate.
I am
Injuries
tired.
quickly forgiven, quickly pass away. Personally and racially, our enemies must be forgiven. Our aim is to create a world of fellowship.
Through the storm
And justice. No man's skin color or religion is held against him.
through the night.
Love thy neighbor is a precept which could transform the world if universally practiced.
Lead me on.
It connotes brotherhood, and to me, brotherhood of man is the noblest concept in all human relations.
Through the light.
Loving your neighbor means being integration.
Take my hand.
Interreligious.
And precious Lord.
And international.
Lead me home.
I leave you love.
When my way
Alma Woodsley Thomas was indeed a child of Georgia. She was born in Columbus on September 22, 1891. However, in 1907, her parents moved the family north due to growing racial violence, including the 1906 Atlanta race riots. They also sought to secure a better educational life for their children, including Alma, who was already cultivating interest in architecture and the visual arts. The family landed in Washington, D.C., settling into this Italian-style home originally built around 1875. The Thomases chose Washington, D.C., partly because they already had family living in the city. They attended church at St. Luke's Episcopal, just 1 block south. Alma Thomas graduated from nearby Armstrong Manual Training School, a perfect setting to develop her technical skills. After grade school, she attended Minor Normal School, a training academy for Black teachers, and later Howard University. There, Alma Thomas became the first Howard student to graduate with a fine arts degree. Her parting quote, "What is more far-reaching than beauty?" Upon graduating from Howard, Thomas took a job as an art teacher at Shaw Junior High School, a placement that lasted 35 years. Along the way, she achieved a master's degree from Columbia University, attended American University here in D.C., and remained highly active in the D.C. art scene. She was a major supporter of and helped run Barnett Aden Gallery, the first Black-owned private art gallery in the United States. During this mid-career period, Alma Thomas was also heavily involved in the Little Paris Group, an informal artist collective of mostly Black women, led by Lois Mailou Jones. After retiring from teaching in 1960, Alma Thomas set out to explore more abstract stylings and eventually aligning with the Washington Color School. The Color School was a loose cadre of artists in 1950s, 60s, and 70s Washington, whose works developed into a new branch of color field abstract art. Thomas's contributions to this canon were abstract works utilizing patterns, bright colors, and compact, repeated brushstrokes. Her work was often thematic, falling into identifiable series. Her national notoriety originated in this late career period, 1960 until her passing in 1978. Even after her travels and schooling, Alma remained in the same home, this house on 15th Street, never leaving. It was her home until she died. She often painted in the kitchen, which had become her de facto studio. Thomas used the springtime scenery as seen from the large bay windows as inspiration for her works. The house is on the National Historic Register and still exists as a private residence.
You are in the dark, in the car, watching the black tarred street being swallowed by speed. He tells you his dean is making him hire a person of color when there were so many great writers out there. You think maybe this is an experiment, or you were being tested, or retroactively insulted, or have you done something that communicates that this is an okay conversation to be having? Why do you feel comfortable saying this to me? You wish the light would turn red, or a police siren would go off so you could slam on the brakes, slam into the car ahead of you, fly forward so quickly both of your faces would suddenly be exposed to the wind. As usual, you drive straight through the moment with the expected backing off of what was previously said. It is not only that confrontation is headache-producing. It is also that you have a destination that doesn't include acting like this moment isn't inhabitable, hasn't happened before. And the before isn't part of the now as the night darkens and the time shortens between where we are and where we are going. When you arrive in your driveway and turn off the car, you remain behind the wheel another 10 minutes. You fear the night is being locked in and coded on a cellular level and want time to function as a power wash. Sitting there, staring at the closed garage door, you're reminded that a friend once told you there exists the medical term John Henryism for people exposed to stresses stemming from racism. They achieve themselves to death trying to dodge the buildup of erasure. Sherman James, the researcher who came up with the term, claimed the psychological costs were high. You hope, by sitting in silence, you are bucking the trend. All right.
Wie das so seltsam traurig macht, ein Gang durch eine fremde Stadt, die liegt und schläft in stille Nacht, und Mond beglänzt nebelge Haut. Plötzlich übermannt, ergibst den Weg legst dein Bündel aus der Hand und weinest lang und weit aus allen dunklen Talen kommt der süße Apfelschlag. Und ein Herz in stummen Qualen lauscht und zitternd ist zum Tag. Eine Geige in den Gärten klagt herauf mit weichem Strich, und ein tiefes Mühlenwirren kommt der bösen Type mit. Fremde Seitenspiele drunten, der so weich und dunkel klagt. Wo hast du das Lied gefunden, das mein ganzes Sehnen sagt?
Set apart from the cluster of war memorials located near the Lincoln Memorial, the African American Civil War stands out as a compelling tribute to these heroes of the Civil War. The United States Colored Troops is a designation given to the non-white regiments of troops that fought for the United States Army and United States Navy during the Civil War. Most of these 209,145 troops were black men who joined from both northern and southern states. However, the force was also made up of Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, Hispanic soldiers, and white officers. By the middle of 1862, U.S. military leaders concluded that recruiting, training, and deploying black troops had become an indispensable necessity to win the war. Black soldiers immediately started forming volunteer regiments, with full regiments officially under the USCT banner in service by summer 1863. One of the more notable regiments was the 54th Massachusetts, among the first formed after the Emancipation Proclamation. Among the 54th was Sergeant William H. Kearney, the first African American recipient of the Medal of Honor due to his bravery at the Battle of Fort Wagner. The bravery of that regiment inspired tens of thousands of other black men to join the war effort. Kearney's name, as well as the 209,144 others who served in the USCT, are inscribed on the 166 stainless steel plaques forming the walls of the memorial. The central sculpture here is Ed Hamilton's Spirit of Freedom. It features two compelling narratives. The north-facing side portrays 3 black infantrymen and 1 black sailor defending the United States. Above the soldiers, you see the Spirit of Freedom, hands folded with a determined intention to look over and protect these brave souls. On the south-facing side of the sculpture is a scene often left out of war memorials, a scene from back home. The poignant image is of a black soldier with his family. We do not know if the soldier is leaving to join the war effort or perhaps returning home after service, but the 3 generations of family gathered around him drive the point home. He was fighting for their freedom and his own. The United States colored troops were among the key factors to a Union victory and the first real institutional stride towards equal rights born of the Civil War itself. This memorial aims to honor them and tell their story.
It happened long ago, when black people were taken from their homes in Africa and forced to come here to work as slaves. Those that survived stepped into a land they never knew existed, and they were put into the fields to work. Many refused, and they were killed. Some would run away and try to go back home. Some of those who tried to go back to Africa would walk until they came to the ocean, and then they would walk into the water. No one knows if they did walk to Africa through the water or if they drowned. It didn't matter. At least they were no longer slaves. Now, when the white man forced Africans onto the slave ships, he did not know, nor did he care if he took the village musicians, artists, or witch doctors. As long as they were black and looked strong, he wanted them. Men, women, and children. It was to a plantation in South Carolina that one boatload of Africans contained the son of a witch doctor who carried with him the secrets and powers of the generations of Africa. One day, one hot day, when the sun singed the very hair on the head, a young woman, her body curved with a child that grew deep inside her, fainted. Before her body struck the ground, the white man with the whip was riding toward her on his horse. "Get back to work, you lazy nigger!" He cracked the whip against her back, and screaming, she staggered to her feet. The Africans who had been watching lowered their heads and went back to work. The young witch doctor worked his way to her side and whispered something in her ear. She, in turn, whispered to the person beside her. He told the next person, and on around the field it went. They did it so quickly and quietly that the white man with the whip noticed nothing. A few moments later, the young woman fainted once again. The man was almost upon her when the young witch doctor shouted, "Now! Now! Everyone!" He uttered the strange word, and all the Africans dropped their hoes, stretched out their arms, and flew away, back to their home, back to Africa. That was long ago, and no one now remembers what word it was that the young witch doctor knew that could make people fly. But who knows? Maybe one morning someone will awake with a strange word on his tongue, and uttering it, we will all stretch out our arms and take to the air, leaving these blood-drenched fields of our misery behind.
A rarity at the time of its founding in 1903, the Washington Conservatory of Music was a privately owned, Black-founded, and Black-run arts institution, specifically created for Black adults and children. The conservatory educated students about African American musical heritage and also trained them to play, producing top musicians for decades until closing in 1960. Black residents in post-Civil War D.C. set out to cultivate their own musical, economic, and educational institutions due to being locked out of the city's established all-white institutions. The conservatory is a crucial part of that story and was a major contributor to the Black Broadway era of D.C. history, centered on nearby U Street Northwest. The founder of the Washington Conservatory was Harriet Gibbs, born in Vancouver, British Columbia, but educated in Ohio at the Oberlin Conservatory of Music. Gibbs landed in the district in 1900. By the time she arrived, she had already traveled the world while studying and performing, and was considered an accomplished pianist with over a decade of experience as a music educator. Gibbs initially ran the Washington Conservatory from studios inside True or former Hall at 1200 U Street Northwest, just blocks away. By 1904, the institution grew and moved here into 1902 T Street Northwest, a stunning and beautiful building donated to the conservatory by Gibbs' father. In addition to musical history, with an emphasis on Black musical history, students at the conservatory received instruction in strings, piano, voice, pipe organ, and wind instruments, among others. After a new program was added for rhetorical skills and public speaking, the name of the institution was changed to the Washington Conservatory of Music and School Expression. The conservatory helped consolidate funding for the concert music scene for Black artists in Washington. Previously, performances, training, and schooling were sponsored by various institutions, including Black churches as well as historically Black Howard University. In the conservatory's first years, Gibbs and the other founding faculty tried to strike a balance between student recitals and hosting better-known traveling artists and orators, all while maintaining financial stability as a privately run school. At the pinnacle of its existence, the conservatory would host up to 175 students, with 14 faculty members operating out of the T Street building. In 1942, Gibbs, then known as Harriet Gibbs Marshall, died, aged 72 years. While the conservatory continued under the leadership of her cousin, Josephine Muse, it ultimately closed in 1960 after Muse passed away. The conservatory's records and materials live on at Howard University's Moreland Spring-On Research Center.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hopes springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard, 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard. You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs. Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling. I bear in the tide, leaving behind nights of terror and fear. I rise into a daybreak that's wondrously clear. I rise, bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise. I rise, I rise.
Before Industrial Bank or Southern Aid Society provided capital, financial services, and insurance plans for Black businesses on U Street, a fraternal organization by the name of True Reformers arrived from Richmond to lay the foundation of what would become Black Broadway. By the time this building was dedicated in 1903, the Grand Fountain of the United Order of True Reformers was already one of the most successful Black-owned enterprises in the United States. In 1888, the savings bank opened in Richmond, Virginia by the True Reformers was the first Black-owned and Black-operated financial institution to be chartered in the nation. From there, they grew their financial services offerings over the next quarter century. The newly opened hall here at 1200 U Street Northwest was America's first to be solely owned by, financed by, designed by, and constructed by African Americans since Reconstruction. The True Reformers were both a self-help and mutual benefit organization. They offered a multitude of amenities and services to Black people in D.C. who were largely shut out of white-run businesses like banks and insurance companies. Conference rooms, leased office space, a performance hall, and street-level retail were all part of the vast offerings beyond financial services. One of the first businesses to lease space on the ground level was Fountain Pharmacy, opening in 1905. For 12 years, the Fountain was operated by Dr. Amanda Gray, who started her own business after working as a pharmacist at the Washington Women's Clinic here in D.C. Dr. Gray is thought to have been the first Black woman to own and operate a pharmacy in the city. Her store in the True Reformer building offered additional services, such as laundry, mail, and even housed a telegraph office. Dr. Gray ran the Fountain Pharmacy until the death of her husband, Arthur, in 1917. During the fledgling first years of what would become the Black Broadway era on U Street, the True Reformer building became known for hosting jazz concerts popular with both youth and adults. In 1916, a young Duke Ellington played some of his first shows for money inside the rooms of True Reformer Hall, as it was colloquially known, thereby making him a professional musician. Just a year later, in 1917, the True Reformers sold the building to the Knights of Pythias, who officially renamed it Pythias Hall, but the old name persists to this day.
Son, I write you in your 15th year. I'm writing you because this was the year you saw Eric Gardner choked to death for selling cigarettes. Because you know now that Renisha McBride was shot for seeking help. That John Crawford was shot down for browsing in a department store. And you have seen men in uniform drive by and murder Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old child whom they were oath-bound to protect. And you have seen men in the same uniforms pummel Marlene Pennock, someone's grandmother, on the side of the road. And you now know, if you did not before, that the police departments of your country have been endowed with the authority to destroy your body. It does not matter if the destruction is a result of an unfortunate overreaction. It does not matter if it originates in a misunderstanding. It does not matter if the destruction springs from a foolish policy. Sell cigarettes without the proper authority, and your body can be destroyed. Turn into a dark stairwell, and your body can be destroyed. The destroyers will rarely be held accountable. Mostly, they will receive pensions. And destruction is merely the superlative form of dominion, or whose prerogatives include friskings, detainings, beatings, and humiliations. All of this is common to Black people. And all of this is old for Black people. No one is held responsible. There's nothing uniquely evil in the destroyers or even in this moment. The destroyers are merely men enforcing the whims of our country, correctly interpreting its heritage and legacy. It is hard to face this, but all our phrasing, race relations, racial chasm, racial justice, racial profiling, white privilege, and even white supremacy serves to obscure that racism is a visceral experience that dislodges brains, blocks airways, rips muscle, extracts organs, cracks bones, breaks teeth. You must never look away from this. You must always remember that the sociology, the history, the economics, the graphs, the charts, The aggressions all land with great violence upon the body.
Is to blame? Who is to blame? Benefits suffer, who are they? Blame. Who is to blame? Who benefits? Who are they? Ha! Who benefits? Ha! Who suffers? Who is to blame? Who do I blame for my despair, his suffering, her confusion? Who are they? Are they? Who are they? Who are they? Who are they? What does this mean? What have we done? Who are they? What does this mean? What have we done? Where can I go? Where can I go? Where can I stay? Where am I safe? Where can I turn? When will we hear each other? Where can I go? When will we listen? When will we speak? Shout! Yell! When will we be heard? Will we be heard? Will we be heard? By who? What? Who? what? What, where, when, why? How can I stop this new reality? How can I stop this new reality? How can I stop this new reality? How can I move on when they're laughing? Can't we do something? Can't we do something? Do something. Can't we do something?